Dow has a 660 point drop in the markets. What's really going on with these indices? Do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video. Trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There is no guarantees of making money in the markets, and trading is the most hardest thing you will ever do, and it takes a long time to become a good trader. So this video is just educational only. If you're struggling with your trading right now, then click on the very first link in the description and get learn a free training, the 7 universal laws to become a master trader that will boost your success, consistency, and confidence without spending a decade trying to figure it out. Click on the very first link in the description right now. Alright traders, hope you guys are doing well. I want to quickly walk you through what's really going on with these indices and some things that we need to keep an eye on for to see whether this is a topping action or whether it's not. Is this the final top of the markets? What's next in the markets itself? Now the one thing I want you to be very aware of is that the most successful traders on this planet, I want to pre-frame what I'm about to say here, the most successful traders on this planet trade with very little emotion. Now they do that from a lot of experience, the amount of money they're trading every day, the amount of money they're risking every single trade, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, the reason why I say that is this: is if I just delete everything off the screen here for a minute. The reason why I say that is because if we have a look at the Dow Jones and we just open this chart up here for a minute, all right, and we squeeze our chart up for the last couple of years. If you look at what the Dow Jones is doing right now, we had a big down day here, okay? So we're probably going to get a bit of follow through tonight on the markets. And and that's fine as well too. Now the best thing that we need, the one thing that we need to really keep an eye out for is what's really going on with again, we're going to look at the peaks and troughs, the highs and lows, and they're going to be significant highs and lows. So I'm going to open up my chart here just a little bit more. And all we're going to do is we're going to be looking at two things here, okay? First thing we're going to be looking at is the peaks and troughs. Now, what are we looking at here? Now, we have this, and this is the most easiest thing, all right? High, low, high, low, high, low. It's not really significant there because it had a lot of price action. Now market runs up, and now we're having a bit of a pullback here. All right, so this is probably the significant trough here that we're looking at there, but it's not really that significant, is it? It's not really. We really need to start seeing some changing on this trend. Now the reason why I'm bringing this up here is because, as you can see, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and even call this a little higher low as well too. The reason why I'm saying that is what we're experiencing right now, the trend has not changed yet, okay? Because every time we get a decent pullback or a decent down day, yes, we've got almost a 2.5% down day, 666. Or it's actually 665.75, but who's counting? Right, on the Dow Jones. So don't be, I would not be surprised to see this market pull off a little bit more and then suddenly ram straight back up the new highs. I would not be surprised to see that happening in this market here. Now we can see that we're looking on the daily charts there. One of the most important things we can do is look on that weekly chart, open up this weekly chart to really see what's really going on here on a significant basis. Now, this trend has been completely going to the high side. Let me see if I can go to the S&P, see if we can see anything that's more significant on the S&P. All right, so same thing. This is the S&P 500 chart. The same thing we're looking for on the S&P 500 chart. We're just looking at these swing highs, swing lows. All right, and as you can see, and now we're just getting a pullback. And this is just a sharp pullback. Now, why is this pulling back so sharply? Well, if you look at this whole run from here to here, do you notice that this here was a pretty steep run to the high side compared to these runs through here? That's the reason why we're getting a sharp pullback. There's nothing abnormal about this. There's nothing to worry about this. Is that, and the thing is that you also got to look at, if you go back and watch my last video, I talked about the moving average being a factor of price and time. When it gets too far away from the moving average, the market's like a rubber band, and it's likely to snap back to it, and then we're likely to continue that trend. As long as the market keeps, as long as the buyers keep pushing up and we keep making higher lows. So as you can see, every time, doesn't matter if it's on the upside, every time we get to a certain point away from the moving average, and as you can see, this one right from here to here was its furthest away from that. And as you can see, now the market's pulling back through here. So that's the daily chart. Once again, go to the weekly chart. What do we see here on the weekly chart? High lows, high lows. So a small little pullback, after a pretty significant, pretty much all, pretty much 4 to say 3 to 4 months worth of upward movement. A little pullback here is not going to send this market crashing. Please don't think this market is going to start crashing right now. That we're going to see a 20% drop in the markets. That's highly unlikely going to happen right now. Okay, this is a bit of a shake and bake right now. It's getting people fearful. And again, if you look at this daily chart, what's happening? We're just getting a nice little pullback towards this here. We could get a bit more follow through, but I believe this is a bit of a shake and bake. And as you can see from these charts, that this here was the significant low. I believe we're likely to rally down. That I believe we're likely to start rallying back up and make new highs here. I could be wrong with that, but that's just what I see. And the same with the Nasdaq as well too. What do we see here with the Nasdaq? Same thing here with the Nasdaq. And this is what you want to see. And this is the reason why you don't ever want to fight that trend. All right, it's really, really, really important to not ever, ever, ever fight that trend. The reason why is this: because you have high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. You get what I'm trying to say here, right? High, low, high, low. And so this here was the high low. Now we've had a big run up. Now we're just getting just a nice normal pullback. And once again, when the market gets too far away from the moving average, look what happens. It gets far away, pulls back to it, 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 pulls back to it. This one here, what are we doing? We're just getting a nice pullback to it. So even though the 1 or 2 down days, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with this market for it to just have a nice little pullback and then a complete turnaround. Now, this is what we're seeing. This is what I'm seeing right now in the markets. All right, this is what I'm seeing right now in the markets, and this is what I'm seeing on the Dow Jones, or in the Nasdaq, and right now. This whole thing can start to change and form into something else, and that's obviously what we're going to keep watching out for. Moving on to silver and gold right now. Silver and gold got a smash down. Silver and gold got an absolute smash down. Now, what is next for silver and gold? Now, one thing I want you guys to remember is whenever we're looking at silver and gold, we're going to keep an eye on this blank chart, blank chart with just black bars, and you want to keep an eye on that. And the reason why you want to keep an eye on this chart is because this is the thing that's going to tell you whether we're going to turn around or not. And this is where the if scenarios come into it, because we don't know what's going to happen, right? No one knows. We only can go on the if scenarios. We only can really go on, if this happens, then we're going to do this, etc., etc., etc. Make sense? So right now, I can actually see that we have this head and shoulder formation. So if we do hold here right now, if last week's move was a bit of a shake and bake on the downside, shake and bake, which means, they're shaking out those sellers, now we're going to rally back up to the high side, we could start to see a quite nice move, but we want to see a break above there. Now that's on the silver chart. If we go back to the gold chart, this is the gold chart. There's actually nothing wrong with this gold chart. Now, I was doing some live trading a while ago, and I actually said that, looking at this gold chart. So there's actually really nothing wrong with this gold chart overall. The gold chart is still very, very high. It actually made a higher high compared to this high here. So I believe there's nothing wrong with this gold chart. The best long-term investment right now, in my point of view, which is my only long-term investment, which is gold, or GLD call options. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks on the upside and 1 down week. That's okay. We can get even another down week. Guess what? It's the natural flow of the markets. There is nothing wrong with gold and silver. So gold and silver, to me, especially gold's holding really strong. This is getting ready to really take on some serious price action once we start to break above. And as you can see by my trend lines, let me see if I can. Once we start to break above that level through there, then we are definitely off the races. Now, once again, as you can see, right, we're definitely squeezing up into this sort of action through here. All right, so let's just do that through there. So this is what we're squeezing up through there. High lows, squeezing up, made a high high. So I believe right now we'll look with buyers a lot more in control than anything else. So don't fight that trend. Buyers are in control with gold and silver. A lot more upside to come with gold and silver. And I believe the indices, this is a bit of a shake and bake on the downside. It's going to start to get people freaked out. Maybe you can get people short in the markets. Maybe some people and I believe this is a time where there's hedge funds are going to start to buy this thing back up again.